All right, everybody, we are live. This is the start of season 2 of Just the Gee Top podcast. We're excited to be back. We've got Mason Monsevais back. He's our first returning guest. You'll remember him from episode, I believe, 29. Fresh off double gold medal performance at American Nationals last weekend. So, Mason, thanks for coming back.
Thank you guys for having me.
Oh, got the medals around his neck there. Nice.
Letting him clang.
Okay, so we'll just reintroduce our podcast members, talk a bit about where we've been, what we've been up to. So from left to right in the dark, we've got Ahmed Sharani.
Yeah, why are you dark?
No, it's something I've been working on. I thought it'd be good for the podcast.
For any audio listeners, Ahmed looks like he's in a Queen music video right now. Which for anybody under the age of 30 or not North American, it has no valid reference at all. But anyways, also in the dark we have Jordan Zubair Short.
Hello.
And Rami Chirani.
Hey.
And myself, Adam Cousins. So, so this is our first episode of season 2. So, Ahmed, maybe do you want to just talk a bit about the layoff that we had there?
Yeah, so our last episode was it's funny because we did a 1-year anniversary, and then immediately after that, we did a 1-year anniversary, and that's when Adam came back after a little bit time off, and then we took 2 months off. It's really weird. It's like, yeah, happy 1-year anniversary, and then we just disappeared. So some people, yeah. So I know. So we took care of some things legally. We registered Just the Gee Top legally, for example. Rami still has sirens going on. Some things never change. So we did that. We have some other business opportunities we've been kind of working on and some designs and stuff. So we took some time off and we really built we're booked right now till October, all of October. So we have all our guests lined up. Whereas before we were kind of scrambling, like, oh, can you please come on? Can you please come on? So I mean, I believe I reached out to Mason probably a while ago, maybe 4 weeks ago or so, and then. I thought, this is a great guest to come to have back on, a reoccurring guest. We had a good rapport with him on episode number 29. If you guys haven't checked it out, check it out. We're going to cover as much as we can about Mason, but without repeating some of the stuff we had on the last episode, so because a lot has happened since then. That was in March, guys. We had him on in March. So quite a bit of time has passed. He's still a one-stripe blue, but I mean, that's... but that's we'll discuss that later. And but yeah, that's about it. That's what we've been doing, and we hope you guys enjoy our second season as we kick it off.
All right. So do we want to talk about has anybody been up to anything interesting? I think Jordan, you just moved recently, right?
I did. I bought a house, and so these are the new digs.
They haven't bought lights yet, though. They just.
There's a light right behind me, and it'll blind everybody. It's going to be very distracting. It's kind of like Rami's, except like 10 times brighter.
Yeah, this thing is actually really annoying. I constantly move my head in front of it. So
it's good, though, because when you're in front of it, Rami, it kind of looks like you have a halo a little bit.
Yeah, so anyway, like I said, nothing new going on. Like I said, we're just training, whatever. Of course, we'll get to our guest who's done a lot more than all of us put together. Also, I don't know, I was hoping to, just really quick, guys, I want to go over, and I'm bringing back this really quick, so I'm saying that again. Just quickly, some local news going on, some tournaments going on here. We have the GTA Classic, which is September 13th. Okay, so that's the Saturday coming up. Also, Mason, we have Rafa Mendez coming down in the Hamilton region. Yeah, here in Ontario. So if you guys want to check that out, I believe the Pura BJJ in Hamilton sold out, I was told, but there is another one at Ouroboros. If that's the name of the school.
Oh, that's Andre Grandbois' school, right?
Sorry, did I spell that wrong? Yeah, Grandbois. I don't know.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, so Rafa will be there. Check it out. The pricing is there. I believe it's a 2-day thing, if I'm not mistaken. But Mason, are you coming down for that?
No, I wish I could, but I won't be. Not this time.
Man, that would have been great if you did. But yeah, so that's just some local news, guys. And of course, we had the American Nationals that just occurred. Actually, I think they're done now because there's no Ibjjf right now, so I'm not sure if they're completely wrapped up. But a lot of Just a Gi Top alumni did really well. Of course, Mason, who we're going to talk to, double gold. And Mason, is it true somebody wrote on your wall? I saw when you posted a picture, and I don't know if this fact is true. The only person to win double gold at blue at a major tournament was Zhao Miao. Is that true?
Yeah, I saw that. I'm not sure how true that is, but I mean, I believe it. Sounds pretty reasonable.
Oh, that's amazing.
Sounds pretty reasonable. I'm kind of a big deal.
No, it's really hard when you're a light feather and you have 4 or 5 fights in absolute, and like a lot of stuff has to work out right to make it all the way to the finals and then to come out on top. So
that's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying for a while now.
I know. I saw you said that. You said it's never quite manifested itself. You tried, but you're always a little short.
Right.
So, but we'll get into that. Now, of course, guys. So, like I said, Mason, so double gold. Liera Jr. Also got gold in his division, and Nick Green got bronze in nogi. It was very, very impressive. And so there was somebody else, but anyway, I can't remember now. But anyway, so that's the local items there, guys. So that's it.
Yeah, just a couple quick shout-outs I wanted to do. I'm traveling for work this week, so I'm in the lovely city of Ottawa here, broadcasting live from the hotel. But making a couple stops this week, while I'm on my way. So on Friday, I was at Bruckman Martial Arts. Thank you for the T-shirt, Professor. So yeah, I was at Bruckman Martial Arts on Friday. This week, Monday, I'm at Team Bushido. Tuesday at Arcana. Wednesday at Evolution. Thursday, I'm going to Alpha MMA.
It was just the Gi Top tour.
Yeah, it's the Gi Top tour 2014. So if you happen to be in Ottawa and you're going to be near any of those places, I will be there this week. Plus working and then competing this weekend. So looking forward to it. Thank you to all the clubs for hosting me. Everybody's been really awesome so far. So back to our regularly scheduled program. So Mason, again, thank you very much for coming on. For those of you who don't know, Mason's a blue belt at Art of Jiu-Jitsu. Like I said, just double gold at the American Nationals last weekend. So thanks again, Mason, for coming on. So I guess what's new in your world besides the gold medals around your neck?
Yeah, and take us from the last tournament when we had you on. Let's just wait for that. The last tournament that we had on, like when you were on last time, I believe the last one you just completed was the 2014 5 grappling California 1 Open, and you were the champion in that. So take us after that, or what happened.
Yeah, so just training and competing all year. I made it to the finals at Worlds, ended up losing a decision, but I felt really good. I submitted my first 5 opponents. I fought a tough kid from Brazil. Didn't go my way, but I felt really good about the whole thing overall. And then just this summer, I just went back to training hard, like healing myself, like trying to improve everywhere. And then I competed last month in Vegas, the Ibjjf Open. I won my division. I made it to the finals of the Absolute, but I ended up losing. So going into the Nationals, I knew I could make it to the finals. I knew I could do good in the Absolute, and it went my way this time. So really excited about that.
How many matches did you have at American Nationals?
What's that?
How many matches did you end up having total at American Nationals?
4 in the division, and then I would have had 4 in the Absolute, but my first opponent didn't show up, so only 3 in the Absolute. So 7 total.
Wow. And and they were all submissions in the making it to the finals?
In the division. I submitted everyone in the division, and then I won the Absolute on points. So all my matches in the Absolute.
That's pretty impressive.
Do you feel like there was any sort of, because is this the first time that you've you haven't double golded at American Nationals before, right?
No, I've never won an Absolute division. But
really? Okay.
Yeah, so I've gotten close. I've gotten second in the Absolute a few times now, but never able to get the gold. So it was good. It's my first double gold.
Do you think there's anything different that you kind of like any different had any sort of like mental processes that had to change a little bit for you to get past that?
I think I'm more focused on the absolutes now. a lot of the times when I'm training, I'm only focused on my division, how many fights I'm going to have, who's in my division if I fought them before. But now I'm really focused on the absolute, even before the tournament. So I feel like I'm going to do well in the division, good enough to medal, so I can fight the absolute. And now whenever I look at whoever signed up for the tournament, I look at all of blue belt, every division, trying to get an idea who I'm going to fight in the absolute. So I'm definitely more focused on it now.
Very cool.
Now, I was talking to Ahmed the other day, and he made a comment that I'd like to run by you. So, do you feel like, do you attribute your recent success to your previous, attendance here on the Just the Gi Top podcast? Because it seems like your career's really taken off since then. So.
Yeah, let's be honest here.
Yeah. So that's the only thing that's really changed in my. So.
Good answer. Good answer.
Yeah, I think that's it.
So, you know what? That's kind of, it's kind of ballsy that you said that about when you're looking at the brackets. It's like, I know I'm going to win my division. I got to now look at the absolutes. Like that's amazing. And like, no, that's what it takes to win, I guess. But
that's confidence, man. That's confidence.
Super confidence. Like, well, how do you develop that? Is it just the results speak for themselves? You won gold so many times. Do you just kind of automatically assume it's going to happen now?
The way I feel is I train so hard. I'm training every day, like multiple times a day. I'm dieting. I'm working out. All this stuff. I'm training with the #1 light feather in the world, Guy Mendez, like every day, rolling 3, 4, 5 times a day, getting smashed by him. So whenever I go back to the division, no one can really duplicate like what he does. So rolling with Guy and Hoffa, like it really helps when I go back to the division. And for sure, I have tough fights in the division. But I feel really comfortable where I'm at. I feel really comfortable with the people that are competing a lot, that are in the area. I've fought the same guys so many times now. I feel really comfortable in the division, and I felt like to challenge myself to get the most out of like the tournament. I wanted to fight other people. I wanted to fight bigger people. Like this weekend, I fought the lightweight champion. I fought the middleweight champion, and I beat them both. So. It's a really good feeling being able to win my division and then beating the champions of other divisions. So that's how I attribute the success to is training with Guy, training with Hoffa so much that whenever I go back to the blue belts, it's not the same.
With that approach though, like when you're looking at the brackets, looking for like who you might face in absolutes, do you ever feel like you're maybe like overlooking any competition in your own division?
Yeah, definitely. Like I'm still focused on the division. I set goals in the division as well. I'm definitely not overlooking anyone or trying to be cocky or I don't think it's easy. But I set other goals. So I want to submit someone. I want to submit all my opponents, or I want to score 20 points, or I want to do a certain move. I have other goals that are pushing myself in the division. This weekend I fought the same guy 2 times already. I fought him in San Francisco and I fought him in Boston. And both times I felt like the fight was closer than it should have been because he was able to put me in the 50-50 and it was hard for me to escape. So looking at the brackets, I was going to fight him the second fight. So I set the goal that I did not want to get stuck in the 50-50 this time. I wanted to score at least 10 points and I wanted to submit him. I didn't submit him in the previous 2 fights. And then I did that this weekend. So I was able to score like 12 or 13 points, and I was able to get to his back and submit him. So I'm still challenging myself in the division. There's new guys coming up all the time. We're traveling from different places, so I'm definitely not overlooking the division.
I'm sure nobody is excited to see you matched up against him in the bracket.
It's surprising actually. I feel like not that I'm a name or like a big deal or anything, but I feel like when people see my name, they're like, oh man, I can't wait to fight him. I can't wait. Like I'm gonna beat him. I'm gonna be the guy to beat him. But I don't know. I feel like the first few minutes of every fight, like the guy like is really focused on beating me, and my goal is to get to a good position and start trying to finish the fight. So I feel the guys come at me pretty hard in the beginning. So.
Mason, have you changed anything really in how you're training, or just the focus of your training?
I don't really change anything in the training. The Professor Hoffa and Professor Guy, they already have weeks set ahead They have the goal of each week or each specific class. So I'm just following their training schedule. I'm following what they want me working on. The cool thing is I could go to them right after the class, hey, I did this wrong, or hey, I felt weird here, and then, man, they'll help me right there, and then maybe in the next week they're creating the training to help me. So I was having a lot of trouble getting stuck in the 50-50, and we did a lot of situational training starting from the 50-50 and escaping the 50-50 and getting to better positions, and it really helped me this weekend. I almost lost in absolute. I was stuck in the 50-50, and I was able to get the back with about 10 seconds left. So I'm really just following their plan and just trying to do everything they say.
Just really quick, you mentioned, during they have stuff laid out for you. So are you saying that they have kind of like a plan step by step, or sorry, I guess a week to week plan on where you should be in time for Worlds? Like, I'm assuming you guys have a Worlds camp, correct?
Yeah, so we have a Worlds camp, we have a Pan Am's camp, then we have like a week break, and then it goes right into the Worlds camp. And to be honest, it's kind of easier than what we're doing now. Like, it's a lot of sparring, it's a lot of tournament-focused jiu-jitsu. So we might do 10 rounds of 10 minutes one day, and that's it. No drilling, no technique or anything. But right now is where I feel all the hard work is getting done. So we're focused on certain positions, we're focused on the technique, learning the techniques, coming up with new techniques, trying to build the mindset. I feel this training is much harder than what we were doing in Worlds, and we were still training really, really hard with Worlds. It's just that it's like studying for a test. You can't really cram for Worlds. So you put in all the hard work now, and whenever Worlds camp comes, you're just in good shape, and then you go to the tournament, and if you win, you win. But if not, you go back to the drawing board and work hard all summer and towards the end of the year.
I guess where I was going with this is that since you have a Worlds camp, and obviously Hafa and Guy both competed at Worlds and won, I guess what I'm wondering is can they kind of run this camp, kind of mark your progression, give you a game plan, yet they're preparing at the same time? Is it in such a way that you're helping them as well, or do they? I guess what I'm saying is, do they bring in a lot of crazy black belts to come get them prepared as well? Do they train separately? Are they training with the crew? Are you allowed to even comment on this?
Yeah. So, Worlds Camp is really cool. It's tons of guys, tons of visitors from all over the world, from all teams. They come here, they stay for months, weeks, and I've met a lot of great friends. I've had people stay with us, and they come back every year. But there's a few Atos black belts that come every year. They help the brothers prepare. Keenan, JT, and Andre. A lot of the other guys down in San Diego, they help the professors prepare. I train with Guy a lot. Not as much with Hafa, but for Worlds Camp I train with Guy a lot. And I really try to focus on his opponents. I know it's going to be hard to beat him. I know how good he is. So I really try to duplicate what his opponents are going to do. If they're going to try to berimbolo and spin and put him in the 50-50 and hold him, then that's my goal. Because this is the one time I can actually help him out. I can help him. He helps me all year. Now this is the time I help him out. So I try to do what his opponents are going to do to him, just to help him get prepared. Obviously, it's tough. It's tough for me. He still smashes me and stuff, but I try to do my best, help him out. And he does have his training partners here too. So he has brown belts here, black belts here, helping him out as well. But we pretty much roll with everyone. They roll with everyone. But there's some days where it's just black belts only, or you stay within your weight classes, or it just depends on the day.
Yeah. Okay.
So Mason, we have just a question that's come in here on the YouTube page. So I think this is Bashir, #Bashir, I'm assuming. So he's just saying congratulations on the double gold performance yesterday. Will you be trying to Grand Slam this year?
Yeah, I mean, it would be awesome. Whenever I sit down and I write out my goals for the next year, it's definitely going to be definitely something to consider. I'm going to Europeans already. I already have my mindset on going to Europeans, and obviously Panzer Worlds are here. Depending on how Europeans and Pan Ams go is whether or not I'll go to Brazil for the Brasileiros, but it's definitely something I want to do. I'm a really big fan of setting goals high and then just doing whatever it takes to reach them. So if that's the next step, then that's the next step, something I want to do.
Mason, how long, I'm sorry to bring this up, but how long have you been a blue belt again? When did you get promoted?
I've been a blue belt for about a year and a half, a little over a year and a half. So December 15th, I think 2012. So in December it'll be 2 years.
Oh, that's still actually relatively short. Most people, sorry.
I think people just assume you've been a blue.
What's up?
Go ahead, Ronnie.
No, I always had this impression that you were such a blue belt for so long. But I feel like
I get that a lot. A lot of people are saying, "Oh man, you've been a blue belt for like 5 years." I'm like, no.
Well, I think it's just like when somebody has a lot of success at a belt, you just automatically assume you were probably a blue belt for 10 years. They must be.
Yeah, I get that a lot. And I think another thing that kind of contributes to it is I competed like as soon as I got my blue belt, and I was having pretty good success. So, I won a tournament in my second month as a blue belt. So, I think that contributes to it too. And I compete a lot, so I'm sure, like traveling all over the world and stuff and competing in these tournaments, like it just it makes it seem a little bit longer than it actually has been.
How long have you been training for now?
It'll be 3 years right before I get my blue belt. So I got my blue belt when I was training 1 year. But I was training a lot of like no-gi, like MMA. Honestly, I didn't know anything. And then I moved down here, probably training about 6 or 7 months, and then I trained down here from July to December, so a full year of white belt, and then I got my blue belt. So I was training here for 6 months, and I got my blue belt.
When you were talking about moving down there, I know some people who did like camps for Worlds as well, like from this country here, Canada, and so they'll fly down for a month. Sorry, I don't know why I have to specify.
From this country here, Canada.
This country, maybe you've heard of it. It's Canada. But yeah, they fly down, for a month, crash at people's house and train, and really helps their game. They did pretty decent at Worlds as well. And I've had conversations with some other people. Actually, I'm not gonna say their names, but they've said, look, if you want to be serious, you need to leave your comfort zone, which is like, let's say, Toronto or whatever. And you need to get down to a good school like yourself and really focus and dedicate your life to it. If you want to be successful, you can't just train in some no-name place or whatever and expect results. You're living proof of that. So obviously, would you recommend that lifestyle change to people who are really successful? Now, there's a lot of blue belts like yourself who do look up to you and they really respect you. So would you push that on other people too? Would you tell them to pursue that?
Yeah, I think the way the sport is going, it's really the only way to be successful and have consistent success now. I see a lot of guys come here for like a week or two before the tournament, and they may learn some stuff, they may get in better shape, but it really doesn't change their game, because when they go back home or when they leave AOJ, they take very little with them back. You see the guys that come here for like 3 or 4 months at a time. Mm-hmm. From when they got here compared to when they leave, there's a huge difference. The way they fight, the techniques they're using, their confidence, the shape they're in, it changes a lot. So I think to have consistent success, you need to be in the system for a while. Whether that means training every day or a few months, I think that's going to be a lot better than coming down for a week or two. Obviously, the more time you spend in the system and training hard, you're going to be better. I think that's probably the easiest way to win in jiu-jitsu.
I sort of think too, yeah, like going somewhere and training for a week is more like a novelty. It's kind of like an experience. Yeah. You're like, yeah, I got to go and train with them for a week. It was fun. You probably aren't going to learn too much. You might like pick up a couple like little details or something like that, but I mean, how much do you really take away from like one training session or a couple of training sessions, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, don't get me wrong. The people that come for like a week or two, they do see improvement or they get in better shape. But I feel like when they leave, they don't their progress like starts to decline again. So they're improving, they're getting better, but by the time they leave, like it plateaus and it starts to decline again. Going back to
it
normal.
just has to do with like the fact that once you're at a good school or whatever, and then you train there for a while, you go back. It's almost hard to not go back to the old ways, whether it's like how your other training partners are training, or if they're just not on the same level, even, like, put it bluntly.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's almost just a matter of consistency, right? Like, and you know, to Jordan's point or to the points that are being made, you know, you might incorporate a few moves into your game, but you know, you're talking about, you know, you're not going to fundamentally change, you know, your game in a couple weeks, right?
Yeah, something you do in a week or two is not going to trump like what you've been doing for 2 years or 3 years. You know, it's not going to have that big of an impact.
All right, so there you go. So yeah, for those who want to take it seriously, I mean, like the results speak for themselves. You need to really immerse yourself in a group of like-minded individuals, I guess, like you and your team, in order to succeed. Not saying there's not a diamond in the rough out there somewhere training in some school in Alaska who's not going to come down and win. I mean, of course those happen, but
yeah, it happens all the time. But I think for the majority of the people, you need to be in the system.
Yeah. So that leads me to one other question. So Mason, in case you didn't know the way we do, we always prepare some questions and we have a general idea. And what we do, we try not to make it like too much like an interview. We'd like to make it like it's an organic conversation, just like what we had now. So one other point I want to bring up, and it's open to everybody, but I'm gonna give it to Mason first. But so since you're talking about this whole immersion thing, this whole you need to be in the system, something that not many people can do. What are your thoughts on some avenues for financial compensation and gains for guys like yourself who are, you know, sacrificing a lot to live elsewhere, away from their family, friends, etc. Maybe living a very modest lifestyle. I mean, you know, I don't want, you know, just for example, just, you know, maybe they just can't buy certain things they want to because they're really dedicating their life to the art or something. So, like. Do you think there needs to be something that should change possibly in the future that will give jiu-jitsu guys like yourself, maybe even guys like, I don't know, Keenan and all those kind of guys, like a chance to really make a good living off of winning these championships? Because, for example, you win Worlds, you do get sponsored, but you don't get, there's not like a $40,000 check or something waiting for you as well. You know, like ADCC does have some financial compensation, but for the everyday guy, there really isn't. So would you like to see some changes in that, and do you think that we need that?
Yeah, I think I'm all for having more money in the sport. I think it's going to help it out in the long run. I think eventually it'll get to that point. But right now, I think because the sport is so young, it's definitely tough to be a no-name and trying to do it full-time. The guys at the top of the black belt, they're probably making a pretty good living. They're having their flights and seminars paid for, private lessons as well. I think one thing that can definitely improve is the way gyms are run. Business owners, they can give back more to the instructors, or more seminars and stuff. I think there's definitely going to be more money in jiu-jitsu, but I think it's going to start with the way gyms are run. I'm a blue belt, and I'm very, very fortunate that the brothers take very good care of me. It was a lot harder in the beginning, but they've built the gym up to where it can help out competitors and coaches and stuff. And I think they're kind of leading a trend with the Art of Jiu-Jitsu Academy that I hope, you know, catches on, and it's going to take care of their competitors, their coaches, their instructors and stuff. Mm-hmm. But for right now, I think it's definitely tough for people to make a living in jiu-jitsu. Whether or not the tournaments decide to give back more to the actual competitors is up to them. They're also running a business as well, so if they want to keep 99% of the profits, they definitely can. But I think one avenue that's not really being tapped into is the way gyms are run. It's just it's kind of an older model, but I think AOJ is kind of changing the game right now, and I hope it picks up and people kind of duplicate what the brothers did here.
So what, like, I'm kind of curious because I know that I think you even mentioned in the last podcast we did with you that the brothers take like fairly good care of you, and I'm assuming that I think it had something to do with like you and I'm not remembering the other person's name. The guy who won, as your teammate, the one that won Purple Belt Worlds.
Rick.
Yeah, Slamba. Rick Slamba. And I know, like, you guys all pretty much started at the same time at AOJ, right?
Yeah, so we were all here within a few weeks of the gym opening. I was here for the first day, and then I went back home and I got all my stuff, and I came back about 3 or 4 weeks later. He was here, and a few other of my roommates. We were all here in the beginning. We're the originals. We're the coaches now for a lot of classes.
So are you guys? Is it like? I guess I'm just trying to understand. Are you guys are all pretty much full time from what I gather? But when other people want to come to Art of Jiu-Jitsu full time, does that same kind of thing happen where they're also housed, or how does that work? Like, can people from around the world just decide, hey, I want to start doing this, and then the brothers pick them up, or is like how does
it's definitely tough. I think we were lucky to be the first crop that got here, but we definitely put in our time. We were here for a long time, teaching the classes for nothing, training full time, not making any money, not having a job. But I think it helped us because we were the first crop that got here. But we put in a lot of time, like trying to earn our spot here. There's been guys that have come after us that have kind of joined our crew. But it's definitely hard. Once there's already guys in place, it's hard to leapfrog or anything like that.
So explain that. So you have some jealousy, you would say, some challenges, some challenging the alpha male type thing.
No, it's nothing like that.
Oh.
I wish there's a cool like thing, like a story, but no. We're all friends here. There's guys that came after us that are putting in their time just like us. We all hang out. We're all friends.
Okay, cool.
No envy.
Okay.
I thought maybe there was like some sort of network that if somebody wanted to train full time, they could just like jump into Art of Jiu-Jitsu and then be fully taken care of. But
you have to show results, though. You have to show results.
For sure. I just wanted. I was thinking of the people, the fans. I was thinking
The people, the community, Rob.
Hey, that's a good point. Like, so Mason, like, let's say we have a competitor here in the Toronto region, and let's say he's just like, he flies out and he does really well in these tournaments. Could he approach Guy and Hapa and go, hey, look, I'm really committed. I'm doing really well. I just really want the opportunity to come train with you. And like, do they get requests like that? They must, I'm sure.
Yeah, so we have guys that show up here like, man, maybe every other week or once a month, and they're all about jiu-jitsu. They want to be world champions. They want to do what we do, but like after about a week or two, they don't want to do it anymore. It happens all the time. We have people that come from all over the world that want to be on our, like, it's not even a system. Like, honestly, we're just here training the classes that everyone else is training. We live together, so we're able to share rent an apartment. And guys are more than welcome to, like, come and join, but it's hard because our house is full. So, like, I live with my roommates, but they're also the other coaches, the other competitors. And so for, like, someone else to come, they would have to find a place to live. They would have to find a way to make money or something. So it's hard because we were here first. We were fortunate enough to get here first, and we're the coaches of the kids' classes. We teach private lessons and stuff. But if someone did wanted to come, they could tell the brothers. The brothers would gladly accept them, and then it's up to them to prove that they want to do it. Because there's a lot of people that say they want to do it. There's a lot of people that are here that came here to be full-time jiu-jitsu people, and they train once a day or twice a day. There's nothing wrong with that, and they're getting really good. But more times than not, the people, it's a lot tougher. It's not as glamorous as it seems, and it's hard to invest in someone that you know nothing about. You don't know about their work ethic and stuff. So they got to come here and prove it. I think it's probably like that in any business or any system.
Yeah, it's a good point that you make too, Mason, about the business sense of the clubs themselves, because I think we're kind of coming into that time where jiu-jitsu is starting to become a little bit more mature as a sport, to the point where you have to be not only, it's not good enough anymore to just love jiu-jitsu and own a jiu-jitsu school, right? It is a business at the end of the day, right? And there's competition now, right? So, things like, we're seeing some of the bigger clubs, like in the local area, Toronto, places like that, starting to do sponsorships for some of their students, or sending them to tournaments, getting gear for them, those sorts of things. So it's kind of like a restaurant, right? It's one thing to love food, but it's another thing to run a restaurant, right? It's the same thing with jiu-jitsu, right? It's not just good enough to love jiu-jitsu, but you have to be a business person or have somebody running the business that runs it like a business.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the more that gyms grow and the more business experience people get, the better it's going to be for the competitors. And I think the competitors nowadays, when they go to open up their gyms, they're going to be able to give back more to the up-and-comers. I think in order to make money in jiu-jitsu, you need to teach. I teach 2 classes every day. I teach on Sundays, and I teach private lessons pretty much every day. And that's how I'm able to live. And it's only because the brothers created this gym. They created this opportunity for me. It's only going to get better, I feel like, in the sport.
Mason, what is your hourly rate for private lessons? I mean, this is public knowledge, so I'm just kind of curious, because I know with since there was some people who went over to Atos in San Diego, you can get privates with like J.E. Torres and whatever, and they were pretty expensive per hour. So I'm just wondering, well, if you don't mind asking that question, but I'm kind of curious. You have great credentials, so I mean.
Yeah. So the cool thing here is we don't have our own rate.
Okay.
How it works is, say a kid joins the gym, and the parent's interested in getting them private lessons. Then they can buy a package. That package could be 2 private lessons. It could be 12. If they buy 12, obviously it's going to be a little bit cheaper because they bought it in bulk. And then they're going to pick a coach. So then the coach, okay, I really like this coach. I want him to teach my student. So we all have the same rate. It doesn't matter if you're a brown belt or a blue belt. That way we don't compete against each other. That way Rick is a brown belt, He's a purple belt world champion. Like, oh, I want Rick to teach my private lesson. Oh, okay, it's this much. And then you say, well, Mason's going to do it for this price. And then now Rick has to lower his price because I'm willing to teach it for less. So it has nothing to do. We're all training all the classes. We know all the techniques. We're all doing the same stuff. So for us to pass down the knowledge, it's all through the front desk. They buy the privates to the front desk. They let us know if they want a private lesson, and we teach the private lesson, and they handle everything. So there's no competition amongst the coaches. No one lowballing anyone. So it's a really good system they set up here.
We were talking about like bringing more money into jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. I mean, as far as the sport goes, not everybody is as exciting to watch as you. And like, I mean, I think in order to like really spread jiu-jitsu, you need to have something that's sort of spectator friendly. Like, what do you think is the best way to go? Do you think like shows like Metamoris are helping?
Yeah, good question.
Yeah, I think that stuff is really cool. It's really difficult for a big sponsor to join a smaller sport and pay out all this money with little hope of making a lot of money. I think one way to grow the sport is invest in kids programs. Just like when I was growing up, I played football, I played basketball, I did all these camps, I did all these things. If gyms were focused on building up the kids programs, they would have more people involved. They'd have families coming out to the tournaments to watch their kids, their family, win or lose, whether the kid's good or not. They're going to have grandparents, aunts, uncles coming out to watch their kid. There's spectator tickets right there. The more kids you have involved in the sport, the bigger the sport's going to be in about 10, 15 years. And the kids we have here at AOJ are so fun to watch. You watch Cade and Tyra Tolo fight. You watch Alyssa Wilson fight. Like, man, I would pay money to watch them fight. I get to see them train every day, but I still would go to the tournament to pay and watch them fight. Like, it's so entertaining. The bigger the gym builds their kids program, the bigger the sport's going to be in the long run, and the better the kids are going to be, the more entertaining the fights are going to be. I think that's a really good way to start building a sport. It's kind of a long-term solution, but I think the more people you have involved in the sport, obviously, like just like the NFL, you're gonna have like just high-level athletes putting on amazing fights, and people are gonna be interested in paying money to watch that. As far as Metamorph goes, and that stuff's really, really cool, but the problem is you pay $20 to watch a pay-per-view, or you can wait 12 hours and it's all on YouTube. It's hard to make money in that model, especially if they're doing it, once or twice a year. But I really enjoy those fights. I think they're interesting fights as long as they get fights that don't happen a lot. So you get guys from different divisions, or you get guys with like a rivalry background. I have no problem paying for that kind of stuff. I really enjoy it as long as the fights are interesting, or like when they brought Chael Sonnen in, I thought that was really cool. Stuff like that I think will help grow the sport, and then maybe eventually major sponsors will catch on. But
it's funny though, like you get like matchups with like legends, and they turn out to be like kind of dud matches. They like, I don't know, they tend to like nullify each other's like strengths, and then that's not as exciting for somebody who doesn't know that much about jiu-jitsu. But like the Mendes brothers, those matches were actually really exciting. There was a lot going on, and I think maybe you get like some of those lighter guys who put on a more impressive show. Like even Jeff Glover in his match, it was exciting to watch. He was maybe goofing around a little, but like I don't know. That's the kind of stuff I think that maybe gets people more interested in the sport as more of a casual fan, I think.
Jeff Glover, Jeff Glover is a horrible human being, in my opinion. I'm sorry to say that, but anyway, I don't like that.
No.
But anyway.
I definitely think those kind of events are awesome. They give you fights, and they give you fighters that aren't competing regularly. You won't see Jeff Glover playing donkey guard in the world championships and stuff. So it gives you stuff that you wouldn't normally be able to see. I just think it's tough when you're only doing 1 or 2 events a year, which is actually a lot. It's hard for them to put those events on and get the fighters, pay the fighters, have the fighters ready to fight, excited to fight. It's hard to grow the sport when you have those events, and it's also so accessible when it's just you can pirate the stream, or you can put the fights on YouTube a day after.
Though, Mason, I might have to disagree with you on that, just because like when the world stream was going on, like I knew a lot of people who paid for it, like, you know what I mean, because you can't see Ahmed Shirani's legendary win at Worlds on YouTube. Like, you can't. I don't have it. Nobody recorded it for me, for example. You know what I mean? So you're right. You can see all the matches of Keenan versus this, and JT Torres versus this, and Meows and that. Yeah, I agree with you, because they're high-profile guys, and you can see them on YouTube. But guys like myself, Rami's matches, yours, I mean, you probably had somebody recording it, but these are the ones that aren't available on YouTube the day after, or 12 hours later. You know, so I guess what I'm trying to get at is, and like, it's not really a question for you necessarily, because I don't want to put you in any hot water, but I just feel like, for example, the Ibjjf charging a good fee, like the package fees for the stream is not cheap. I think it gets up as high as $40-50, to watch it, and it's all off of guys like talented like yourself, off of your backs. Not me. I don't give a shit personally. I mean, if they, I don't give a. Sorry, I meant to keep it G-rated. I'm sorry. I personally don't care, because whatever. I'm just whoever. But like, for example, yourself, you probably had a lot of friends and fans and family order the pay-per-view on that specific day. You went on a Wednesday, I believe, right? Or maybe Thursday. Was it Thursday?
Yeah, Wednesday or Thursday. One of the first day.
Yeah, the first day, right? So you probably had friends specifically book that day. Order that day just for you. So like, I guess what I was getting at with the whole compensation thing is that if we're going to see more of this happening, more streaming and stuff, like, I'm a firm believer that the very least, the champions of the divisions or something should get a cut or something, so that this can start to become a norm. This will bring out more guys out the woodwork. Like, like now you're going to get guys who come in and go, wow, like, there's actually money in this. I can actually, okay, you know what? I'm going to do this. Let's go for it. You know what I mean? Like, well, what are your thoughts on that? Because like, I know we're talking about it's good for the sport, kids getting into it and all that. But if maybe there's people see that there's actually money in this, and it starts from the promoters, I think. I agree with you that the schools are doing great programs like yourself, like at AOJ. That's amazing. That's a dream for most. But for those who don't have it, at least they have a goal to fight for. Like I think it's promotions. I think the promoters need to reward their. And I'm not talking paying a couple $100 to do a super fight. I'm talking like reward these guys. That's the professionals anyway. Like I don't know. That's kind of my rant.
Yeah.
But maybe you just.
I think that's totally cool. I totally understand what you're saying. It's a lot different from the Metamora style of card where it's just like 6 fights on one night. I think the pay-per-view for the Worlds and the Pan Ams is awesome. I bought it when I was right before I moved down here. I watched Hoffa Smith Cobrinha on the pay-per-view. I never would have saw that, or I would have saw it later, but I watched it live because I bought that stream. And I remember I paid like $20 just for one day just to watch the Black Belt finals and stuff. But Hoffa didn't get any of that money, and I bought it just for him and Guy,
Exactly.
So,
and there's probably thousands who bought it just for Hoffa.
Yeah, there's so many people just like me from all over the world who wanted to watch that fight. And I remember, I really remember thinking, like, man, I don't have the money to spend on this, but I want to watch it so bad. And I'm just like, all right, whatever. I'm just gonna pay for it. I want to see it. So, it would be cool if they were able to compensate the athletes, or maybe at the lower belts, refund the registration if you won the division, or if you win the open class or something like that. That would be really, really cool. But at the end of the day, it's totally up to the organizations, the tournaments, however they want to they spend their money or give back is up to them. It's obviously a tough situation for the athletes because we're paying $100 and you're not guaranteed anything. You can go there, get DQ'd in the first minute, and you get nothing back, or it's tough. It really is tough. It doesn't matter if you sold 100 tickets. You get nothing. So
yeah.
Hopefully it works itself out in the future. I think getting the registration refunded would be really cool, or maybe you get a credit for a future tournament or something. I think that would be really cool. I would be able to compete more. There's a lot of tournaments that I wanted to do. It's just with the plane tickets and the tournament fees, it's really hard. I wanted to go to Dallas next weekend, but it just didn't work out. But yeah, I think that'd be a cool way of getting people to compete more and travel more. But it's totally up to the organizations.
I think you're going to see more organizations popping up. That's just my guess, but you're going to see more organizations popping up in the future who are going to offer that, and they're going to put together these matches or what have you, sell pay-per-views. We're going to see more pay-per-views. That's my dream anyway. You're going to see more pay-per-views out there. You're going to see the athletes rewarded handsomely. The promoters can still make make a penny off of it, but I know for a fact, like if there was a card in San Diego, and like Keenan and a couple other guys are all just competing super fights, whatever, it's like $15-$20. I'd order it. You know what I mean? I find competitors are just competing for free these days, and
it's like their life's work too. It's like it's a shame almost.
It's like you're working for free. I mean, of course, don't get me wrong. I know there's. You're sponsored by Shore. We'll get to that, I'm sure. And I know they do nice things for their competitors, but still, it's just not enough yet. I don't think it's enough, So
yeah, and I think it's only going to get better, but I can't wait for that. I'm all for helping out the competitors and the athletes, especially the ones that are trying to do it full time. So it'll be cool to see how it does work out in the future.
Does Ibjjf sponsor any athletes at all?
I don't think they sponsor athletes. I think they allow Black Belt World Champions to compete for free, but that's it. I'm not even 100% sure about how that works.
Because I know some promotions actually do sponsor athletes. I know like Five sponsors athletes and stuff like that too, right? But with how much money the Ibjjf makes, you would think that they could throw some money back to some athletes, right?
Yeah, I would be if they did sponsor athletes, I would not want to fight a guy with an Ibjjf patch on because maybe he's friends with the ref or anything like that. But,
very, very good point.
But maybe if you get a submission, you get $5 back, or maybe if you get your tournament fee refunded or something like that, something fair where everyone has the opportunity to earn their earnings or something.
You get a submission, you get a coupon for $5 off your meal.
Unless acai bowl or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give a free acai bowl, like something.
Something.
I mean, I don't know. I don't mean to pick on Ibjjf. Obviously, the big guys, you know. But I'm just saying, like, with all the tickets that were sold just to spectate, all the pay-per-views sold, and
Exactly.
they like the divisions are full. Like, it's a 5-day tournament, right? Like, it's anyway. Mason, we're gonna move on to our next segment. So for all those who don't know, we have a new segment. It's called 21 Questions. Okay, it's we're trying it out with Mason. We have like I said, we know Mason very well, and we would only try with somebody that we're comfortable with, not a first-time guest. So anyway, Mason, the format of this is that I'm going to ask you a lot of 21 rapid-fire questions. Okay, they're one-word answers: yes, no, maybe a name, stuff like that. Are you ready?
Okay, I just want to give you guys a heads up. Man, I'm awful at these games, so.
there is no free acai bowl or prize at the end, so don't be too stressed out about it.
Yeah, just have fun with it. I'm going to start you off.
I'm sweating already, so.
All right, tell you what. I'm going to start you off with some really easy ones.
Okay.
Really easy ones, okay? And we'll take it from there. Really quick, Mason. You have a girlfriend, right?
Are you going to say that before every question?
You have a girlfriend, correct?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, this will help me with my questions. Okay, you ready?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, here we go. Okay, Mason, so like I said, it's some easy questions. Boxers or briefs?
Boxers. Briefs.
Okay, all right. We need one word. All right, one word here. Let's keep this going, right? Favorite color?
Green.
Number between 1 and 10?
3.
Gi, no gi?
Gi.
Tap, snap, or nap?
Nap.
Yeah. Whoa, all right. Okay, that's good. Okay. Hair products before competing?
Pomade.
Yeah.
Okay. Fight it out or close it out?
Fight it out.
Okay, good. Did you pose for this?
Nope.
Did
Yes.
you?
Yes.
You did, right? Like they. Adam, can you bring it up again?
Okay, hold on. Time out. Okay, time out. So,
And I even wrote on Facebook, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, well, look at him. Look at him.
Okay, here's
It's
how it
like a
happened.
cologne, like a cologne commercial.
Okay, here's how it happened. I took the back. I was near the edge. They were getting ready to reset us, and I was looking at Guy, who was behind the barricade. Guy was talking to me. He was coaching me, but right underneath Guy was the photographer. So I look at Guy. He tells me something. I look down at the photographer, and I guess I was smiling. He took the picture. I mean, I knew the photographer was there. Like, was I trying to plan a perfect picture? No. It just kind of happened.
And next thing I know, I'm in a Dolce & Gabbana ad.
It was just like chance that the photographer was right underneath Guy.
Okay. All right. Okay. Next question. Love of your life, mom or girlfriend?
Mom.
Okay. Famous black belt you think you could take? You must answer this.
Guy Mendez.
Favorite Mendez bro?
Pass.
Respect people who don't compete.
Yeah. Of
When
course.
when you propose to your girlfriend, when will you do that? She asked us to ask you.
I don't know. I haven't put much thought into it.
Kids or no kids in the future?
A lot of kids.
Do you have any right now?
No.
Stuart Cooper or Roy Dean?
Hold on. Repeat. That question?
Stuart Cooper or Roy Dean?
Stuart Cooper.
MMA, yay or nay? I think I know this already.
Yay.
Someone you would like to sponsor you, maybe a company out there you'd like to sponsor you.
If it's an apparel company, Nike. I think Nike would be really cool. Or maybe like BMW or Mercedes.
Dolce & Gabbana, BMW, why not? Okay. Lowest belt that absolutely destroyed you in training, which made you contemplate if you should quit jiu-jitsu.
Wait, what was the question?
The lowest belt that absolutely destroyed you in training, which made you contemplate if you should quit jiu-jitsu.
I don't feel like I've ever contemplated quitting jiu-jitsu.
Okay. How long have you been a blue belt with one stripe?
1 year and 1 month.
And the final one is, well, I guess it's an honest answer you gave me, but do you only put one stripe to psych people out of competitions?
No, I'm waiting anxiously on my second stripe.
And there you go, guys. That was the first edition of 21 Questions. Thank you, Mason, for participating. Now, you actually did pretty well.
I know, that was actually really fun. If you have any more questions, I like this game.
Okay. No. Well, I did. I only did the 21, and I was interested. You chose the love of your life, your mom. That's very admirable, and that's why you're such a baby face on the show.
I love my mom. Like, my girlfriend knows that I love my mom. Like, I love my girlfriend too, but like my mom. My
mom's your mom.
Yeah, and my grandma too. I love my.
I'm thinking of proposing to Mason right now.
Yeah, between the Calvin Klein, picture you took there, and I don't know, man. It's but anyway, man, it's been an honor to have you on, man. And again, like, we'd love to have you on when you get your purple belt. So probably if we're around in 2 years, we'll definitely reach out to you.
What comes first, gray hair or the purple belt?
I don't know, man. That's a tough one. You're close, man. You're close. But anyway, it'd be awesome to have you on again.
I would love to be back. I would love to. It's awesome. I always have fun.
That's great. Finally, any sponsors you'd like to shout out? Yeah,
Shoyroll, Ruka, obviously AOJ. Thank you to my professors for always pushing me, killing me in the training. Albino and Preto, all those guys. Bull Terrier as well, new guys. So thank you to all those guys. Perps is awesome. You guys haven't tried it.
Yeah, what is that?
So Perps is a new brand. It was founded by a doctor, Kelly Slater and Pat Tenori. Pat Tenori is the owner of Ruka. So he created Perps, which is an energy drink. It's a hydration drink similar to Gatorade, and then it's also like a vitamin pack, so you can put it into water and stuff. But the energy drink it's all natural energy. The hydro version is just like Gatorade, but without the chemicals and stuff. It's all natural ingredients and stuff, less sugar. And the Vitapack is just a little plastic thing that comes with a powder form, and you pour it into your water. Really, really good stuff. I drink like 1 or 2 Perps every day. So,
awesome.
Yeah, it's really good. If you guys ever get the chance to try it, definitely try it.
Yeah, man. No, I definitely will. Just because you said you would, that you do, I will. If they happen in Canada, I don't think they do, but yeah, awesome.
All right. So unless anybody else has anything, no.
No, I just want to let everybody know. Like I said, we have a lot of guests lined up. So next week we have oh my God. Why am I blanking out on his name?
Is it Javier Vasquez?
Javier Vasquez. I'm sorry. Yes, we have him on next week. The week after, Tim Spriggs, and the week after that, the purple belt phenom, Dante Leon. So make sure to check us out, guys. We're always on live Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern. No matter what, that time will not change. So in case you're ever wondering, when are we on? We're always Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And if you can't make the show because you got a life and you're doing things, we will always release the episode on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, RSS feed, whatever it is, whatever app you have running on your phone. We got you covered. That'll be released Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific and 12 p.m. Eastern, and that's it.
All right, so that's a wrap for episode 1 of season 2 of Just the Gi-Top podcast. So Mason, again, thank you so much for coming on. It's always a fun time, and we'll hope to have you back sometime soon.
Awesome, thank you guys for having me. Any of you guys watching me, follow me on Instagram. I love Instagram. Okay, at Mason Monsevais, please.
Will there be a lot of pictures of you?
Yes, I'll try to keep it 50-50 of me and 50-50 not me. So.
Nice.
All right, so we'll see you next week, as Ahmed said, every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you next week. All right, cheers.